Alright, so this is lesson 12 4.5, Inscribed Quadrilaterals. Alright, so inscribed quadrilateral theorem. It basically says if you have a quadrilateral that's inscribed in a circle, then its opposite angles are supplementary. So supplementary simply means two angles that add up to 180 degrees. So let's say we have angle DB 110. That means its opposite angle would be 70, so they would add up to 180. Let's say this is 120 for angle A. That means its opposite angle should be 60, so they add up to 180. So problem 7, find the angle measures of each inscribed quadrilateral. All right, so from that last slide, we saw that a quadrilateral that's inscribed in a circle, the opposite angles are going to add up to 180 degrees. So if I look at angle J and angle G, those are opposite angles. Those two angles should add up to 180. So I just make the equation 6b plus 20 plus 3b plus 25 equals 180. I go ahead and I solve that equation, so I know what b is. So 6b, 3b, that's 9b. 20 plus 25 is 45. Going to go ahead and solve the equation. We're going to minus the 45 over. So 180 minus 45 is 135. And we divide both sides by 9 to get b by itself. So b is going to be 15. So now that we have found out what b is, we can substitute it into the expressions to find all the missing angle measurements. So if I start off by plugging 15 into angle K, so 10 times 15 is 150 minus 96, minus 69, we're going to get 81 degrees. So this angle measurement is 81 degrees. Now angle K and angle H should add up to 180. So 180 minus 81 is going to give us 99 degrees. We simply do the same thing for angle J. We plug in 15. So 6 times 15 gives us 90 plus 20 is 110 degrees. And its opposite angle, which is G, should be 70, so they add up to 180 degrees. And now you have found all the angles in the inscribed quadrilateral. All right, so for this problem, it asks us to find the value of x in the measure of angle D. So what we learned at the beginning of this lesson is that this angle, angle F, and angle D are opposite angles. So angle D plus angle F should add up to 180 degrees because they're supplementary. So we can just make that equation where D is x plus 18 and angle F is x plus 38 equals 180. We want to go ahead and combine like terms. So x and x gets us 2x. 18 and 38 is going to give us 56. From there, we want to go ahead and subtract 56 to both sides. So you have 2x equals 124. Divide both sides by 2. And we're going to get 62. Now that we know what x is, we can find angle D. And so angle D is x plus 18. We can plug in the 62 into x. And so 62 plus 18 is 80. So we now know the measure of angle D is 80 degrees. All right, so for this problem, it asks us to find the measure of the arc AB. So this is going back and making us use our knowledge of inscribed angles and arcs. So we can see that angle D, this inscribed angle, is 51, which means the arc from A all the way to C should be double 51 degrees. So 51 times 2 should be 102 degrees. But the question's asking us what arc AB is, this little section. Well, if we know the entire arc from A all the way to C is 102 degrees, and we can see that the arc B to C is just 66, if we go ahead and subtract those 2 degrees, we'll find out what the measure of arc AB is. So 102 minus 66 is 36 degrees. So this right here is 36 degrees. All right, so this one's asking us to find the measure of angle B and angle C. So first thing we'd want to do, in my opinion, is to figure out the arc lengths all the way around the circle. Now we know that arc A to B, this arc here, is 151. A to D, its arc is 63. And we have arc BC is 105. The only one we don't know is arc DC. Well, the arc should add up to 360 because you have a circle. So 360 minus 151 minus 63 minus 105. So 360 minus those values is going to give us 41 degrees. So angle DC is 41 degrees. Now that we have that knowledge, we can figure out all these different angle measures they're asking for. So the first thing they're asking us is angle B. So angle B is right here, but if we go ahead and look at the angle a little closely, you can see that when it comes to the circle, its arc is going to be ADC. So this big red arc right here. So we want to know the sum of that big arc so we can chop it in half to figure out what the angle is, the inscribed angle. So we should figure out what 63 plus 41 is. That's going to give us 104 degrees. So half of 104 degrees is going to give us 52 degrees. And so now we know the measure of angle B is 52 degrees. Well, the next one they want us to find is angle C. So if I just erase the stuff we just wrote so we can see a clear picture. So if we go ahead and look for angle C, we want to look at its arc. So for here's what these chords create angle C. So it starts at D. It goes all the way around the circle through A all the way to B. And that's the arc that goes with the inscribed angle C. Well, we want to therefore know what 63 plus 151 is. That's going to give us 214 degrees. Angle C is the inscribed angle for that arc, so all we have to do is divide that value by 2. We're going to get 107 degrees. So the measure of angle C is 107 degrees.